Hello, everybody. Good evening from beautiful Panama. It's been a great week. Apparently, we're having a nice party somewhere in my neighborhood. Music is thumping, people are screaming, so someone's having a good time. For those of you guys who don't know, I live in an area named El Congrejo. It's in the middle of the city, about a kilometer, maybe 3/4 of a kilometer to the water, and about 3/4 of a kilometer to the jungle. So we're like dead center in the middle. I don't need a car here. We have one, but we don't need one. Got the metro right downstairs, 2 stations, and everything you need is right around here. So love it. A nice park. Man, they're really partying it up. I think it might get louder as the night goes, as people get more drunk. Steve D, looking forward to your live stream. Hope everyone had an awesome day. Greetings from Seattle. Hey, welcome. John Runyon, woo. Crypto Cashew, yo. Lights out. What's up, people? 420 Hex. What is going on, man? I could use a nice loaded brownie. Hey, Randy, thank you so much. You're welcome, TechSex. Marion's here. Hey, fam. What's up, Hexskins? Tin Top. No sound. Is it real? You guys can't hear me? Post this. Comment if you can't hear me. All right. Let me make sure. How's that? Can you guys hear me? Someone comment if they can hear me. Okay. All right. All right. Decided to hear you tonight instead of Discourse. Hey, well, I was over on Discourse watching what those guys are doing because they haven't done an effing hangout in a while, at least that I've noticed. So, I want to see. That's where I was born in the Hex community, was the Discourse Syndicate. So I appreciate everything that Kinetics and the Captain do. And obviously, what's his name was over there? Crypto King, fellow Navy guy like myself. All right. What's your prediction on the man-made energy crisis? Will people revolt or accept UBI? You know what they're going to do already. They're going to accept it. So sad. All good. Would love if you did a video on how to take profits with minimal slippage and fees. Sure. RG3 and Ken are speaking highly of you. You're the man. Make your mama proud. It's my mama. Mm-hmm. Can hear the party too. This mic is amazing. So yeah, I'm sure you can hear the party. Oh man, what a weird day. So I got a quick story that just happened. My 4.5-year-old, we were in the we're coming back from the park. We went out to dinner, had some pizza, and we're coming back, and it's getting that time of the night when kids get grumpy. So I didn't let him hit the button. He was on his bike, so I went up, I hit the button for the elevator, and he threw a fit because he always likes to press the button. And we're in the elevator, and he's screaming. I said, "Yell louder!" And I'm kind of pushing his buttons, and he's screaming. And we get back in the house. He's still crying because he didn't get to press the button. And about 30 minutes ago, an hour and a half had passed or so, and I called him over, and I said, "Give me a hug." And he gave me a hug, and I said to him, "Why were you screaming in the elevator?" And he put his head down. He said, he pops his head up. He goes, "Let's play a game." I'm like, "What game?" He goes, "The quiet game." I'm like, "What does that mean?" He goes, "Be quiet." I was like, "You little shit." I got played by a 4.5-year-old. Oh, jeez. That little shit. I'd love to do it. Yeah, how to take profits with minimal slippage. Can hear the party too. Yeah, sorry guys. I don't even know where it is. I can't see it. So I imagine it's over here on Via Argentina on the side street. So it's our street is where all the bars are at, tattoo parlors. It gets kind of wild after dark, especially on Friday and Saturday nights. Yeah, thank you. I can't remember the guy I got him off of, but Just reach out to Crypto King if you'd like to get some. He knows the guy that sells them. So they do a good job. I love them. So it's been an interesting week, guys. We've had so much stuff happen. I'm exhausted mentally because of all the stuff that's been happening nonstop. No, it doesn't. Yeah. I think Black Label Expat. I think you met Max once. I think you met him when you were here. Pretty sure. Rarely do we leave him with somebody else. So, yeah. All right. So, what is the news today? Well, the stock market rebounded. So, a lot of people are calling this. This usually happens before Shmita. You have this nice little recovery bounce right before the big bang, right? And that's exactly what's happening right now. We're getting this little recovery, and it's looking good for even crypto. I mean, Bitcoin is at 21.3 right now. Yeah. Black Label Expert. He met my son. We don't show him online, and if you have a young child, I recommend you don't do it either. I see these too many people. They have a brand new newborn, and they're showing them on the internet. Girl or boy, it doesn't matter. Just be careful out there, folks. Internet is a shady place. There was a big incident on TikTok recently where a lady was innocently just showing her daughter in swimwear and things like that. And come to find out, people were taking these videos and repurposing them and saying really nasty things about her daughter. And she was getting millions of views. She was so happy because she's getting millions of views, but it was really weird, bizarre people who were watching. And she took down all the content. There you go. Crypto Hut. Yep. That's who sells them. So we had a nice little bounce, but not, I want to make sure this is what I wanted to show you. Yes. Check this out. Someone on Twitter shared this. I absolutely love it. It shows the S&P 500 versus 2008. All right. So the black line here is 2022, and this is where we are right now. We're getting this nice little bounce, right? And then Shmita hit, boom, 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 fell off the cliff. That's the S&P 500. Now, 1973. Going along nicely, tracking 2022, just like that. You get the nice little bounce. We're getting a nice bounce right here. Boom! And we crash. Right? So are we going to have a similar structure play out this year? It's looking like it's ramping up to be exactly the same thing as 2008 and 1973, both Shmita years. So are we going to replay it? I'm thinking we will. And for those who don't know the history of this, let me, I gotta, because I know some of you guys are here all the time, but some people don't see these things. Let's play this one real quick.
So Apple shares are just getting hammered this morning.
We're down by between 3 and 4.5% generally across these markets.
We're down over 16%. Dow at the same time has fallen about 18%.
The stock market is now down 21%.
Because we're now down 43%.
What in the world is happening on Wall Street?
The worst day on Wall Street since the crash of 1987.
Yes. These are the things that we're going to see. And it's, I don't think people are prepared. There is just a small amount of people in this world that knows what's about to happen. Just a small amount. If you go and do a search on Google or YouTube and Google News, the people that are talking about Shmita, they're talking it just in the biblical terms when it comes to farming. They're not talking about it at all when it comes to finance. And then there's the other group of people who are talking about in just the religious aspect, because we're going into a Jubilee year. The religious folks, I don't want to make jest of them, but the people believe that Jesus is coming back in the next Jubilee year, which starts on the 27th of September. So there's those folks, and you'll see their content. And then there's the folks that are talking about the farming, and they're typically Jewish channels, right? And then you've got a few just sprinkled in there, people talking about the finance sector and what can happen. And it doesn't look good. I don't know why people don't want to talk about this. I had somebody reach out to me and like, oh, Randy, I don't know why you're talking about this stuff. This is like a fairy tale that you're talking about. This is something that it's the Bible. I'm like, yeah, bro, that's exactly the point. There's millions of people who believe in these cycles. There's millions of people who practice this and live by these rules on a daily basis. I can go down to Paitilla, down by the water, and every Saturday on Sabbath or Shabbat, the whole Jewish community, it's Hasidic Jews, they're all walking around. They're wearing their yarmulkes. They got their wife, and they have their their kids. They're walking up and down the streets, going to their relatives' houses, and there's thousands of them. They're everywhere because that's the main neighborhood that the Hasidic Jews live in. They've got their temple. They even have ritualistic behaviors for when they have sex. The women have to go and take a bath. They have this in the temple downstairs. They have this bathing area where the women go to. So, they prepare to sleep with their husbands, and they take it real serious. If someone believes that this stuff is not real, it absolutely is. It's still active to this day. And people who doubt it are just living in a fantasy land. That's my opinion. We still have the Amish. We still have, people living in old times in the U.S. Ask my mom. My mom grew up amongst the Amish. Just a couple weeks ago, she was at my uncle's house, and go down the road goes the Amish buggy. People think that there's people that don't live like this anymore. There are millions that still live like this and still believe in it. And the people that control the financial empires of the world still believe in it. So even if you don't, they do. And look at Christine Lagarde. She's the head of the IMF. She even talks about numerology when she's on stage. She talks about these things. She talks about cycles. She talks about Shmita. These are the people that run the world's finance. Who are we to ignore it? So I believe that someone needs to go out there and discuss these topics, and might as well be me. I ain't got nothing to lose. I'm retired, pretty much, right? All right, let's see what you guys got to say. Hedron is life. I can't stop market buying to scoop up cheap HSI at a better Hedron cost basis. Yeah, buddy, exactly. I mean, people are ignoring Hedron. You're really missing out. I think that imagine if Hedron does another 20 or 30x from here. Man, a lot of people are going to be making a lot of money. Cal, Jewish rug pull. Well, it's not so much a rug pull, but it's a rest. So this whole year of Shemitah, they've taken a rest, right? And it just happens to be in the last week of Shemitah, usually when it gets the worst. But the difference is we have a Jubilee year this year, and I'm not quite sure what's going to happen. And as I told you before, I think it's going to be mostly based on the currency changing. We're leaving a fiat system. We're moving to a CBDC system over the course of the Jubilee year. That's going to be starting in the spring. And the U.S. is supposed to have theirs rolled out by July. It's crazy. Life Changer 333. Sorry I'm late. Checking in for class. Hey, fam. Well said. Thank you. Yo, I wouldn't want to smash us. What are you talking about, man? Christians bathe before sex. Well, not the ritualistic bathing that they do. They go in and there's other women there who bathe them. It's really intense. My ex-girlfriend used to work at the Hebrew Academy here, and she was telling me the stuff that the women do just for sex. I was like, what? That's wild. It's a luxury to dismiss religion and a mistake to do so. Metal Jack 555? Yeah, exactly. I think it is a mistake to ignore it. What did Powell say? Let's out. Powell said today that the Fed will not make CBDC unless it gets permission from Congress and executive branch. Huh. Interesting. Let me I deleted that video. There was the Federal Reserve lady who was saying that the CBDCs are ready to roll out by spring of next year. I think I think we should play the video for the CBDCs real quick. Let's watch this one real quick. It's a short one.
Our financial system that we have today is not appropriate to support what the World Economic Forum says is going to be after the Great Reset. The new economic system that's envisioned has to have a new financial system, and it has to be digitized. That's why the central banks of the world today are all coordinating to create a system, a network of digital currency. The digitalization of money requires a digital ID for all the people that would use that financial system. Digital identity means that you can be identified in such a way to attach all of your history, your activity, and your future to one single point that represents you. Digital identity means total loss of privacy, total revealing of every conceivable activity that you could be involved with, all tied to one identity so that wherever you move in the world, you can be known, and that additional transaction history of your travels will be recorded. A lot of people talk about how great Bitcoin is, for instance, but in the case of Bitcoin, you have a blockchain technology that underpins Bitcoin and puts all of the transactions into what they call a blockchain, where there is no transparency either. It just happens to be distributed, but where there's no one central place it's stored, but you can still look into anybody's blockchain and see exactly who did what, when, where, how. The central bank are intending to create a digital currency that will use blockchain to collect with all of the pieces of information in it, but it will be flashed back to a central computer at the central bank, and it will be stored under your digital identity. That will be able to be analyzed using artificial intelligence software where they can predict your behavior, and if they don't like the behavior that's predicted, they can modify your behavior. This is the essence of scientific dictatorship in the end. Whoever controls the data controls the object of the data. In other words, where it was collected from. Wherever you might go, wherever you might show up, whatever you did on social media, tags where you are or who you're with or whatever. All of that information can be transmitted back to be attached to, in blockchain form, attached to your digital identity.
Yeah. Get ready, it's coming. How are they going to force it upon us? We don't know yet, but there'll be some impetus for them to bring this about. And it's kind of freaky. I did have that video. I took it off of my StreamYard, the one where the Federal Reserve chairwoman, she was saying that they're ready to launch it already. Just it's going to be rolled out in the spring. Yeah. Lights out, we'll see. We'll see what's going to force their hand, or they're going to force our hand. Hey, Randy, markets will pump with midterm elections coming up. You can go back to 1903. Not bad stats. Sell everything in December. That's possible too. Remember, we got Shmita in September. October is generally a good month in crypto. Traditionally, October is a very good month in crypto. November, yeah, you could see something happen. They like to look good for the election year, right? Do they do this ritual every time they have sex on specific dates? Yes, they do. They do not, what I was told, they do not use sex as just a way to enjoy. It's for procreation, for having children. If anybody's a Hasidic Jew here, they want to chime in, go right ahead. If you want to correct me, that's fine. I'm not a Hasidic Jew. I just know somebody that worked with them for many years, and she used to watch how they did things. It will be advantageous for the Fed to keep Dems in power. Yeah, that's their buddies. No, it was not Janet Yellen. It was the other lady, the blonde-haired lady that I'm sorry, I took the video down. Trying to save some space here. So we need to be on the lookout for sneaky legislation with CBDC crammed into it. Or there's going to be an event. In Europe, I think the event is going to be these huge spikes in gas prices out of Russia, or in the natural gas prices, which is going to hurt them this winter. And in order to get a discount on your gas prices, you're going to have maybe your central bank digital currency or your digital wallet to be able to show who you are, prove who you are. I think that's how they're going to do it for Europe. kind of scary, right? I mean, it reminds me of, like I said the other day, the Hurricane Katrina, when the IMF was giving out the checks to people that were in the hurricane. They failed miserably, and whoever it was, I said IMF, but it's not the IMF. The group that handles the aid when something goes down in the U.S., they failed miserably, and they were just passing out these checks. Well, this time around, or in the future, you're going to have to show proof of ID via your phone, digital ID, or some other mode of identification digitally to prove who you are in order to show that you've received the funds. And it's going to be programmable, and you're only going to be able to spend it on certain things. So they don't want you getting your little $200 or $500 or $1,000 and going buying lobster with it, right? Programmable money is scary. No government has a say when the money masters decide to launch CBDC. Yeah, it's coming. That was one of the reasons why we took our long trip this year. We went for it was supposed to be a total of 3 months. We only lasted or 4 months. We only lasted 2.5 months, just because we wanted to go. We didn't know if we were ever gonna have a chance to travel like that again in Europe. You know, they're really partying. I should go down. Federal Reserve probably pumping and dumping markets since 1913. Yeah. And you guys know that the IRS was founded in 1913 as well as the Federal Reserve. So just two things in tandem there, just to let you know. Only gov officials should be forced to use CBDC. This way that people can follow their tax dollars. Yeah. I always used to like the meme where you got the politicians with all the patches of the companies that they get the payoffs from. I've always liked that. That way they're, or like Pelosi, how she's the best stock trader in history. People are watching her wallets now and to see what she's up to. It's a great thing. These people should be transparent. How do we prepare for CBDCs? Make sure you have your crypto, right? Have your parallel money. I keep saying that CBDCs are going to be this way. Crypto's going to be over here. They're going to be running parallel, right? You're going to have two different kinds of money. And I think at some point they might make it super hard to bring crypto over to CBDC, or crypto is just going to be part of the CBDC network, and they're going to have like bridges that go between them. And in my opinion, I think that's more likely because I think stocks are coming. I think real estate's coming, NFTs, all that stuff is going to be the crypto side of the world. They're going to get rid of the old traditional stock market system. Everything's going to be digitized. And so I feel, in some ways, I feel guilty that I helped this come about, because I have been a crypto guy for a long time. I'm preaching crypto, I'm preaching Bitcoin, Ethereum, all this stuff for so many years. Smart contracts, now NFTs. And I think that they've been using us to test a lot of these systems. And they're not going to get rid of crypto, but they're just going to make it more difficult. At some point, you might have to have a certain amount of income in order to be able to participate, because they want to protect you against bad investments, just like they do now with the whole accredited investor thing where you need a minimum of $100,000. It's going to be something similar to that, in my opinion. They're going to make it so difficult. They'll give us a stimmy in CBDC. But I want to say something to this about Metal Jacket is that, that's about the CBDCs preparing, but I think there needs to be some event. Maybe they thought we won't say the word, the issue that we had for the last 2 years, that could have been what they were going to use. It just failed miserably for them. It wasn't as bad as they had hoped. There weren't people dying on the streets like they said they were. If it really was what they said it was, you would have had everybody would have had relatives that died. I didn't have any. So I got a large family, 0. That's not what PANDEMIC is, right? If it was truly a PANDEMIC, everyone would have had somebody they knew that died. I had 0. So, very few. I've had more people get sick from the thing that went in their arms. It's crazy. They'll give us a stimmy into CBDC. Yeah. Just prepare because we don't know what the event is going to be that they're going to use as an excuse to bring those in. Shout out to the Hexicans from the Moon Gang, baby. Yeah, Moon Gang. FEMA, yeah, FEMA. Those gangsters. What a waste. Billions went into FEMA, and they, just let the states handle it. Let the national guards of the states how to handle those kind of things. We don't need a national force like FEMA to come in and not do a job. Thoughts on RH waiting for 2.0, ETH 2.0 to launch so we can review code before PLS launch. PLS launches 4 to 6 weeks after ETH merge. Where'd you hear that? Well, if that is true and he wants to wait till after the ETH 2.0 launch, I think that's a grand idea. Because frankly, when he announced Pulse Chain last year, we didn't even think ETH 2.0 was coming. We thought they're just going to keep kicking the can down the road, right? But now it's like your competitor launching a new car, a new revolutionary car, and you get to look under the hood and see how it works and make sure yours is better before you launch. And one thing that Richard did say in the live stream the other day that I heard, I didn't get to watch the whole thing, so maybe that's where you're getting some of this. But what's cool is that the devs have already found errors in the Binance Smart Chain and how they're, the pancake swap and all that. They found some errors and they fixed them. Because they've done that, it's cool that ETH 2.0 launches first, because you don't want the ETH 2.0 guys looking under the hood of Pulse Chain and be able to just go ahead and fix it before they launch. I mean, I'm with Richard on this. Let's launch ours after they launch theirs. If it's 4 to 6 weeks after, great. Maybe Richard and the team will be able to find something in the ETH 2.0 network that's pretty cool that we can bring to Pulse Chain. They're like the GMC, right? They're like the General Motors Corporation, and we're the little tiny Tesla, and we can go, hey, let's take this piece that we like, we want it the other way around. That's my opinion on that. 2023, Chinese Year of the Rabbit, so hopefully Hex bounces. I sure hope so. That's cool that you got to see Europe before the purge happens. Yeah, man. Yep. I just saw, did you guys see the videos lately showing Philadelphia and the addicts just roaming the streets, and it looks like they're doing calisthenics and bending all over. It's like a bunch of zombies. What is going on in the US, guys? Whoa. Blows me away. Sounds like colonial script. Yeah. Just popped in and watched it from the beginning. Very interesting history, Shmita. Yes, it is. Hexacoin. It's a Hexagon coin. I guess you must be launching a coin on Pulse Chain. CB19 was the build, the infrastructure. Yeah, it sure was. As dark as a CBDC feature may be, it will also be the thing that onboards the mass population in the crypto, want it or not. Yeah, and this is one argument that I have quietly among family and friends, is that these things are going to be serious pumpamentals for our bags. And like that guy that everyone hates, Andrew Tate says, he says that this is your last chance to get rich. If you don't get rich in the next couple of years, your chances of getting rich are going to be very slim. So get rich now or stay poor. That's what Andrew Tate says. Those aren't my words, but I like them. It makes sense. Be very careful out there. ETH 2.0 fork is 2.0 fork is Pulse Chain. Pretty much. But we're actually, Pulse Chain is a fork of BSC, Binance Smart Chain, which was a fork of ETH already. Oh yeah, you said it on the PulseCon? Yeah, I watched part of it, didn't get to watch it all. What's your view on PLSD? Alan Bittner, Abed Hex, and other German guys recommend a PLSD. Metal Hat, check it. If you like it, own it. I don't own any, never will. I thought that they were really disingenuous when they launched that coin. They used Pulse Doge, which is already taken by the earliest Pulse coin project or Pulse chain project, which was Pulse Doge Win. So I'm like, why did you guys copy the same exact name? It seemed disingenuous, so I stayed away from it. and the founder is a little bit abrasive on the internet, and so is Wolverine, the guy that calls himself Wolverine. The guy dumped all the hedron on people after he told them all to buy it. Yes, I did watch it, Life Changer. He was very. I mean, he obviously he thinks that Shemitah is going to be a huge event, and just like it always is. But he also has a video that I haven't seen. It's only for his Patreon people about what he believes is going to happen for the Jubilee year. But he also had a section where he was talking about the price of hex and what's going to happen. And he thinks that we're very near the bottom. He said if we do dip down again, it's probably going to go down to back to around 2.8, 2.7, 2.8 cents. And then we'll start turning back up. So I just watched it today, so it's still fresh in my mind. Today was one of those days where I consumed a lot of content, crypto content. Plus, I had the Cabana stream this afternoon. TextX55, thank you, buddy. DOD. So crazy. Fentanyl zombies are everywhere. Man, I am so glad I'm not a psych nurse anymore or a mental health counselor or anything like that in any hospital, in any psych unit in the United States. The one in Tampa that I worked at was, they always had me in the forensics. Man, I can't imagine working forensics right now. It'll all be all fentanyl people. I had a hard enough time with, crackheads. I can't imagine working with people that are addicted to fentanyl. So videos of Philly like that, early COVID, it's horrible. Yeah, I'm just seeing these on Twitter. I mean, like the 30-second, 1 minute long videos. It's like the same thing in San Francisco. Vitalik is waiting for RH to launch Pulse Chain so he can review. It's a Canadian standoff. After you. No, after you, please. I insist. After you. Yeah. The only thing is, you got Richard. He's a little bit, he's Miami, man. He's Miami through and through. That ghetto hood rat's going to win. Canadians are too nice. Sooner or later, they have to give up. I'm like, oh, go ahead. Continue to just change my profile from a green ape JPEG and my real name, Victor. Okay, cool. I always believed using your real name is the best because it goes with you forever, right? Just be careful what you say. Don't be like me. I've got a history on the internet. RG3 and Connect talked about you tonight. They invited you back on stream with them. Connect wants to meet you, and generational wealth coming in. I love those guys, man. They really got my fear of talking in front of people and threw it out the window. They really helped me out. You're also dumping hedron and hex. That's a problem with Gunster. You are also dumping hedron and hex. What's the problem with Gunster selling? Now, what he did, he was telling everyone to buy, and then he dumped a large amount of hedron and just destroyed the price. That's what he did. I sell hedron all the time. I take my hex and I stake it. Yeah. Don't worry about what I do with my money. It's extraordinary. Lights out. I see them every day. Maddie, what's going on? Good to see you. Tin Top for sure. The tent cities popping up everywhere. Man. I heard Portland, Seattle, all the West Coast cities. They're just a giant mess right now. Maybe because they're a little bit warmer. But cities like Philadelphia, I was there probably 11 years ago. Went to go see one of my friends who used to go to not Penn State, whatever is downtown Philly there, one of those universities, Penn. And what the heck? I couldn't believe how dirty it was back then. And now it's just gone crazy. Yeah, Maddie's here. Thanks for stopping by, Maddie. All right, I want to look at some news real quick. U.S. stocks suffer largest weekly outflows in 11 weeks as investors brace for possible jumbo Fed rate hike. We're being told that we're going to get about a 75 basis points hike. Well, what if they do more? That people are already saying we're priced in for a 75 basis point hike, but You know, what if they do one whole point, or or 1.5? It's possible. In my opinion, that's too much of a flex, though. If they do that, that means they're turning the wrench too tight too quickly, and you're going to see a lot of negative effects from that. But maybe that's what they want to do. Maybe they want to do that on purpose. Who knows these people? All right, so let's look at Bitcoin. Let's look at the chart over here on Aurochs. Still, this is the monthly. We got to sell. Still, nothing's changed. We do have a nice little pump going on. 21,320. Maybe it'll pump all weekend and get people comfortable again, letting them think that things are going good through the week. And then Shmita hits. Boom. Then it'll take us down below 17 or something. Who knows? But remember, I showed you this. Maybe we do something like this. Hey, we're looking good. Oh, snap. Oh, we're looking good. Bam. maybe that's what we're gonna get. All right. So let's look at the weekly here. We got a green on the weekly. Nice little hammer going on there. And we're above with the AI, heading back above for the demand index over 0. That's cool. It's looking positive, but too dangerous right now. I would not be taking any risks. Look at that 1-day candle for Bitcoin. Wow. 19.3 up to peaked out at 21,560. The DI is crossed over and the AI is in the positive for Bitcoin. So way to go, Bitcoin. You're fighting back. Ethereum on the monthly, we're over 0. But the AI is below. We're in the red still. Look, man, this merge is a big buy the rumor, sell the news event. I still think we're going down to $700 or $800 for Ethereum. We've got this nice green. We had a nice short pullback. This is in the weekly, so 3 weeks ago and 4 weeks ago, and we started climbing back again. We're above on the AI, and we just crossed over on the demand index. Hopefully they can keep that. I think it's going to go all the way to the merge here next week. Well, let's try something else here. Go to Hex. Hex isn't having a pretty time right now. Here's the monthly. It looks fugly. What can we do? Something dramatic needs to happen. On the weekly, we still have the green Aurochs indicator. The AI looks good. The DI still is not looking good. We need to get this over 0. It's been so long since the DI. This doesn't even go back that far. Since the chart started grabbing the data. Man, it's been under the whole time. Let's go for the daily. See, here we go. This is when we've had the DI over up until August. And then it just dipped under and has been there ever since. Bummers. And the AI is over, so that looks good. Oh, man. Let's see the 4-hour. I want to be positive about what Hex is going to do, but you get the red indicator, and then the AI. I think somebody sold 1.7 million Hex, and that just destroyed the chart, guys. That just wrecked it. Oops. Hedron, still got the green, but we do have some red. We're not out of the woods yet. It's on the weekly chart. The AI is still going good. DI is still going good. We have till November 15th for this one to really get going. I did hear some cool news that the God Whale staked like 7. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like 7 trillion Hedron. 7 trillion in the ICOSA contract. That's a lot of freaking Hedron. Oh man. So this is on the daily. We still have the red. We want another green for us to go for the next leg up. Right now that you got to push those volume numbers up pretty low right there. All right, let's see what you guys got to say. All right, so that's your charts for today. Thoughts on the whale staking millions of hex for 30 days and selling the yield, constant sell pressure. This is not flood. I claim my free hex, my Bitcoin, and contribute to the A. Daily D, there's no problem with it. Some people don't want to stake for a long period, especially post big payday, because when we did our stakes for big payday, which was in 2021, we did so knowing that if we staked long and get more T-shares, that we're going to get more coins from the big payday. And there was a reward for doing so. Now there isn't so much of a reward as there was back in the day. The problem is that your T-shares get more expensive. So if you have a stake that ends today and you've had it, for example, I've got one coming up in October. If I just stake them for 1 day or 30 days or whatever, I would lose about 60% of my T-shares that I had prior, something like that, between 50 and 60%. If I go out 55, I can actually gain T-shares. So that's the better play, right? And you can use ICOSA to do that. I have no problem with these 30-day guys who just keep rolling. They're helping us raise the T-share rate. And if the T-share rate goes up, sooner or later, the price of hex needs to catch up to the T-share rates. That's just how I feel. Toronto is insane. Pop-up tent city, just getting worse. Really? Wow, that's close to home. I'm from Rochester, New York, so that's just 40 miles across the lake, or a nice 2.5-hour drive. Does Aurochs have any chart for total crypto market cap? I don't know, Aaron. I never tried, never looked at it that much. I'm not on the team anymore. I left the team, or they let me go back in July. So I love the Aurochs indicator, and I have a bunch of Auras tokens that are staked, so I'll always be able to have the charts for free, so I can always show you guys what's going on, even if they start making it pay only, or they're going to have pay, or you have to have the token staked, which is cool. I think that's fair. Yeah, sub 1,000 ETH incoming. Hex goes down while Hedron goes up. That's the model going in November 13th. Well, it's another buy the rumor, sell the news event. But this is such a good event for Hex. We went and we took a bunch of Hex. We staked it for a long freaking time and took it off the market using ICOSA. And now those stakes are now available to buy with Hedron. The only way you can buy them is with Hedron. So it would behoove you to get your Hedron as cheap as possible. Then you can buy those stakes. The cool thing is that Hedron's going to be burned. So once you buy those HSI stakes in the auction, they're gone forever. The Hedron's gone forever. Lighting a match to them. Cool. Love it. And then the Hex is staked for 55. You just took a bunch off the market and went out. And I actually tweeted out tonight. Let me pull it up. I said, what if we had a take Hex off the market for 55 days event using Hedron HSI and then sell the stakes to the ICOSA contract quarterly? It could be fun and a way to sell or way to rally Hexaco. So what I'm thinking is that every quarter we could have like an event, like we could have giveaways, t-shirt giveaways, all kinds of stuff within the community. Everyone could come together and donate, and maybe we have like a prize pool, and we have a raffle or something. Whoever did stakes, all your stakes are put into some kind of raffle. They have the online raffle things, and then we just pick the numbers, and whoever number we pick wins something. But it's a thank you for taking Hex off the market and putting out 55. I think if we did that quarterly, it would be a lot of fun. It's a great way of taking Hex away and say bye-bye for 15 years. No way. One of my Navy buddies is in town. Yes, we'll have beers tomorrow. Smash the likes, plebs. Him and I, we both suffered with our weights while we were in the Navy. We were always fighting with our weights. So even if I decided to stay past 7 years, I probably would have been kicked out for being a fat boy. Yes, Chris. Yes. Let's get together tomorrow. Thumbs up, everyone. Just, Chris, hit me up on Twitter, please. The hex system has a flaw. Those big rolling stakes. The system should have been designed to make huge rolling short-term stakes be penalized by a multiple of current T-share rate, like a 5x to a 10x. They're already getting penalized, though. They don't earn as much yield as the long-term stakes do. So a short-term stake earns what? 8, 9%. A 1-year stake only earns like 16%. If you go out 10 years or more, you're earning about 38%. And if it's 15 years, then you've got the cumulative effect. So your rate is much higher. And if you go to go.hex.com, it shows you what your current rate is for the stakes. I realize. How'd you get connected with Jeff Berwick in the past? How long did you work with him? Well, I'm a gold and silver guy. So remember, I come from the gold and silver world. Jeff was in some groups that I was in, and it was actually because of Shmita that I became really interested in watching his content. That was in early 2015. And then in the group, he messaged that he was going to be in Panama with my other friend, Luke Rutkowski. They were just around the corner here at one of the hotels that has since shut down, where the working ladies like to hang out at. So Jeff messaged me back and he says, yeah, let's get together. So after my wife and I got off at where we worked, we went over and saw Jeff. And at the table, I said, Jeff, man, whoever's doing your social media is doing a horrible job. You need to hire a true social media team like Anna and I. And he hired us on the spot. And we worked from him December 2015 up until last August. We had a 1-year respite there. We weren't working with him. But once COVID started, he really needed our help. So he brought us back on. But they just didn't, when they were talking bad about Hex, I got so pissed, man. I was so over it. Lex P, stop the pillaging of Hex system by these high rolling short-term stakes. They're not pillaging shit. They're making my long-term stakes more valuable. And anybody who has long-term stakes, the ones that the ones that aren't doing anything and don't help the system at all are the ones that are just sitting in liquid. They're just hurting themselves. They're not hurting me, but they're hurting themselves. Waddles. Way. The rolling stakes push the T-share rate up. So each time they slightly get less yield, that they have a short-term capital gains tax every month. At least in the US, that is true. Yeah, I'll come pick you up, Bruce. I'll get you. Hey, got you on live, brother. Thank goodness for weekend. Laugh out loud, Shmita. Soldier Pete, thank you. You were the one who gave me that information yesterday. I think it was a video you sent me and we played it. What if nothing happens in 17 days? What if that whole Shmita stuff is just esoteric, blah, blah? Okay. Let's go through esoteric, blah, blah.
So, in 1916, 1917 was the Shmita year, and 40% of the US stock market value was wiped out. The German, Austro-Hungarian, Russian, Ottoman empires all collapsed, and Britain almost went bankrupt. That was all during one Shmita year. 1930-31, 86% of US stock market value wiped out in the worst financial crisis in modern history in the Shmita year. 1937-38, 50% of the US stock market value wiped out, global recession. World War II, Shmita year. 1944-1945, end of World War II. And the victory parade was actually on the final day of the Shmita. So it wasn't a major financial catastrophe that time around. 1972-1973, 48% of the US stock market wiped out, global recession. 1979-80, US global recession. 86-87, 93-94, 2000-2001. 37% of the US stock market value wiped out. 9/11 happened. The Great Recession, or global recession, hit the stock markets shortly after 9/11. 2007-2008, 50% of the US stock market value wiped out. And in 2014-15, there was another sharp fall in share markets at the end of the Shmita year.
Yeah. But the T-share rate, unfortunately, doesn't go up as fast as it should. These big stakes barely feel that gradual T-share rate. They laugh it off. It's breadcrumbs to them. It's because there's not a lot of hex stakes coming out. So I think the big year you're going to see is at year 10. Year 10, you're going to see that rate just rocket up, just absolutely rocket up. And remember, about talking about this right here. It's been happening all year. The market has been collapsing all year. Inflation's been through the roof. Gas prices in Europe are going up. Cost of living is going up. Your food costs are going up. Your salaries are not going up. And there's just a lot of bad shit happening all around the world. We've got rioting. When we were in Italy, and especially in Rome recently, the smell of tear gas in the air was so exhilarating. You know, it kind of took away the joy of being in Rome. Luke from We Are Change is the man. Yes, I like Luke. And I still message him once in a while. So if I come to Panama, I stay Hex. I want to marry a man. Let's maybe right up. Jeez. Here we go. Are you drinking? Are you drinking already? Aurochs indicated. Yeah. Therefore, it should be penalized as a multiple T-share rate is not to affect. It's not going to change. Hex does not have keys in order to change anything. So what we have is what we have. We can't change it. Aurochs indicator shows a buy tonight. Yeah, maybe on the hourly, but I don't use the hourly. Aurochs indicator is meant for weekly or monthly, not for short term. Hex price chart illustrates the current flaw in the system, not just that we are in a bear market narrative. Oh, now I know what you mean by Shmita. Okay, Henry. Welcome to the show, Henry. I'm like 10 days in, buddy. Don't think me on video, but I've not watched yesterday's yet. Bad week cutting hand with. Oh man, sorry, bro. Welcome. Join. Looking forward to seeing you. To purchase Pulse, what stable should be stable by the time Pulse launches? There is no stable, guys. Get that out of your heads. There's not going to be a stable coin for Pulse Chain when it launches. Liquid loans, they're going to have the LUSD, but that's going to be available 3 months. They've already said 90 days after Pulse Chain launch, liquid loans will launch. So you're not going to have a stable coin right out the gate. You have to find something else. Your best bet is to dollar cost average into Hex right now, so you get the copy when Pulse Chain launches, and you'll be able to use that to purchase Pulse Chain or PulseX and other cryptos that you may want on Pulse Chain. That's your best bet right now. You're not going to have a stable. And let me tell you something. Get stables out of your mind. Stables are, in my opinion, how the people that we don't want, the feds, the Federal Reserve, those kind of people, into crypto. That's how they're getting into it, because they want stables, because that's what you're going to need. That's what happened with USDC. You know, if you're using Tornado Cash and you used USDC, boom, they blocked your wallet, right? That's what they're doing. They have control over the stable coins. The other stuff they don't have control over. So less coins have backdoors, which a lot do. So if a coin has admin keys, be very wary. Like Hex doesn't have admin keys. Hex is a completed product. And nothing can be done to it. Nothing can be changed. It can't be altered in any way. A lot of these other ones can't. So be very wary of coins that have admin keys. We already have a stable. It's called Icosa. Yeah, Icosa, but it's just Hex, right? Icosa is 30 Hex. So it's based on the price of Hex. So the price of Hex goes up 10X, so is the price of Icosa. People constantly use stable coins, get wrecked. Gandalf, yes. I mean, but traders use them. But the problem with trading is that sooner or later you're going to get your ass handed to you. Thoughts on the PLN project on Pulse Chain? PLN, what is that? It has sacrifice as well. It seems like they may not launch now. They cited Tornado Cash related reasons. Is that Hurricane Cash or something like that? I know they were the ones that were doing that. Yeah, Fire Marshal. Let me tell you something. Shows you my age, man. Every Sunday night. What was the name of that show with the Wyan brothers? I can't remember. Good stuff. All right, guys. So that's about it for tonight. Unless anybody else has any other questions. My voice is raw because being out with Cabana earlier today, then going to the park, and it was just a pretty busy day. And I gotta be messaging my boy Chris Waddles. Gotta go get some beers this weekend. Anybody got anything? PLN is Pulse Lightning Network. PLN is Pulse Lightning Network. Trade BTC for Pulse. No, I never heard of that one. Interesting. You're just 1 year older than me. Pulse Games, yeah. I don't feel old though. I think our generation, Gen Xers, because we lived life before the internet, before cell phones, before all that kind of stuff, that we age different. We just aged different because we saw all this stuff, man. We were the first ones that played video games, you know, Atari 2600, Atari 2200, ColecoVision, Nintendo, Sega Genesis. I got to go through all those things, right? And then computers. I remember, you know, in 39 school in Rochester, New York, I was playing with the old Macintosh, right? I was learning how to type on a Macintosh in like 3rd grade. It's amazing. Yeah, J-Lo was on Living Color. That's the name of the show, In Living Color. Yeah, that's the first time you saw that booty popping. All right, you guys. Enough. Yep. Living Color with the Wyans. Thank you so much. It was a great week, and I'll see you guys again tomorrow night. Ciao.